The Democratic Republic of Congo is witnessing violent anti-UN protests in its eastern region, and in the latest 4 people were electrocuted in the city of Uvira when shots fired by the troops hit an electric cable which fell on them. A bullet pierced a high-voltage cable which collapsed on the 4 protesters. At least 19 people, including 3 UN peacekeepers, have lost their lives in the protests so far, including 2 Indian nationals from India's border guarding organization, BSF.
We do not have any evidence that MONUSCO troops were firing at civilians. But again, we want to make sure that we do an investigation with the government to determine exactly where the shooting came from.
Hours after the Indian peacekeepers were killed, New Delhi requested for an urgent UNSC meeting. The meeting culminated with the UNSC calling for accountability for the killings and asked the Congolese government to investigate the incident. People are protesting against the UN mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, known as MONUSCO, of the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Youngsters attempted to besiege a MONUSCO base before being dispersed by the police officers who fired warning shots. The mission has come under regular criticism as many feel that the mission has failed to stop decades-old armed conflict in the country. Even though tensions started dissipating in North Kivu, a deadly anti-UN protest erupted in the town of Uvira in neighboring South Kivu province on Wednesday. Armed police and soldiers continuing to guard several MONUSCO bases. Millions have been displaced as a result of the violence in the region. The latest protests broke out on the 25th of July when crowds stormed into a United Nations peacekeeping base and a supply center in the city of Goma in North Kivu. They looted valuables and chanted hostile anti-UN slogans. These protests broke out after the president of the Senate, Modest Bahati, told the supporters in Goma on the 15th of July that MONUSCO should pack its bags. And for more on this, our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal getting us this report. Take a look.
Well, at the request of India, the United Nations Security Council met on Tuesday to discuss the killings of the UN peacekeepers in Congo. Remember, 2 Indian UN peacekeepers and 1 Moroccan UN peacekeeper died in the anti-UN violence in country's eastern region. Goma is a city where, of course, there is a major UN base, which is, of course, known as MONUSCO. And the meeting that happened came hours after it was confirmed that Indian peacekeepers and others have been killed in that attack that took place in Congo. Now, we know that the discussions took place under the AOB or any other business format, and of course the proceedings are informal in nature. Other than that, we know that both India and France worked together for a press statement, a joint press statement that was released by the UNSC on Wednesday. And the key focus was on accountability as to who was responsible for the attack, and asked the Congolese government to essentially work and investigate.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.